if I take Anjali,
think about what you've achieved.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Unmute Yourself, where we have real, raw and unfiltered conversations. Today we have with us someone who has been into the corporate world, that's the advocacy, and now she has moved on to entrepreneurship. We have Anjali with us today. Anjali is the founder of a beautiful co-working space in Gurgaon, Sector 62 precisely, and you have to come here to feel the magic and see it. Now, when we talk about Anjali, her journey has been from a corporate world, from being an advocate to being an entrepreneur and managing everything. So it's a story of embracing change and building a community altogether. Without further ado, let's welcome Anjali here. Hi Anjali, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So Anjali, first of all, for our viewers also, and I would also want to know what Neherbari stands for.
So Neherbari is a combination of two Punjabi words.
Okay.
It comes from, the memory actually comes from my childhood. When my father was posted in Arunachal, we used to have an accommodation that was essentially, there used to be a window that used to open into onto a river.
Okay.
And that's where the name comes from. It's a combination of two Punjabi words, as I said. Neher meaning a stream of water, and bari means a window.
Like khirki,
Yes.
जिसे हम कहते हैं. Oh wow,
So
beautiful.
that's where it comes from. The original idea was to name the brand Bari because it's a beautiful word. But then, as it happens, there were certain circumstances because of which we had to put a prefix. And then as soon as my friend said that we need a prefix, I went back to that memory. And that's where Neher Bari was.
That holds an emotional place as well. It is just not
Absolutely.
any name. It is Neherbari because I guess it takes you back to your childhood.
Yes.
Fantastic. And if I take Anjali out from Neherbari and being an advocate,
Yeah.
who's Anjali?
Anjali, the lawyer, I think is somebody who is quite shrewd.
Okay.
I don't make any provisions unnecessarily.
Okay.
I am not that generous either as a lawyer.
Lawyers don't
I
have
think-
the image of being generous. They
Generous,
are
yeah.
shrewd also.
Yeah, but I think like as a lawyer, I'm somebody who, I'm not a lawyer who just sort of talks about law. I'm somebody who is very much like business enabling, right? So that's why my sales team loves me, because I get their contracts to a close and everything. So first and foremost, I think as a lawyer, I'm a contract lawyer.
Okay.
But I have also in the recent years, I have found joy in compliance as well. So now I'm a wholesome lawyer, you could say.
Okay. So now, how the journey of being a lawyer to this beautiful place, Neherbari?
So a few things, I think, sort of factors like that went into it. Number one was I work from home. I work
Okay.
for a remote company, and I've been doing that for almost 3 years now. And although work from home sort of, I think, caught up in during the pandemic, right? But I do wish that I could go to office. I think I work better when I have more people
Around
energy
us.
around
Correct.
me and
Correct.
everything. So that's where it started. And then I started looking out, and I didn't find any co-working space where I wanted to sit down and relax and work. So I'm not somebody who needs like an absolutely quiet space to work, but I am somebody who needs to relax to
Wow.
work. And cafes don't cut it.
Cafes definitely don't come.
Don't cut it. Co-working spaces, I feel like, I think they're great for like big companies, but as an individual, if you want to go work at a co-working space, I think it's sort of, to me at least, it feels like a little bit of a rat race. Where you just like sort of in your cubicles and you just
Exactly,
like,
because nowadays
sort of-
co-working spaces, a desk and Wi-Fi.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's where I was like, okay, I want to create a different kind of a co-working space, and of course I wanted to do something with books as well because I'm a huge
That we can
bookworm.
see.
So that I just sort of combined the two, and I wanted to go back in the times when libraries, they are the original co-working spaces, right? That's where everybody read newspapers, they exchanged ideas,
I know.
they studied for exams.
Exactly.
So that's what I wanted to go back.
So I myself am not able to shift from books to Kindle.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Everybody's like Kindle because the moment you open the books and you get the
If you can't smell the book,
if you can't smell the books, there is no point. So
Agreed.
that I think that was entirely a different generation,
Yes.
right? But yeah, so this is a beautiful place, and definitely you'll have a look at what the place is all about for sure. But this did not come easy.
no, it didn't.
So ups definitely we would want to know,
Yeah.
but we'd more be knowing like what were the difficulties and the challenges that you faced.
Yeah. So I think ups, of course, like, it has come out beautifully, and I'm getting a lot of like organic response.
Fantastic.
And people are connecting to the brand. People are, they come here, they feel the warmth of the space, they feel like it's home.
It's home.
So that's something that's been really, really, I think, lovely to hear that feedback, because that's what I wanted to create. In terms of downs, I won't call them downs per se, but I think they were just like, recently I was reading this book called The Mountain Is You, right? So I think it was just a mountain that I was climbing, and uphill climb is always difficult.
Always difficult.
But the view from the top,
I was about to say that
it can't be beaten, right?
Can't.
So yes, there were a lot of downs. So I think maybe the 2 or 3 that I would want to highlight is number one. I think I'm very emotional emotional for the brand that I was creating. So I didn't realize like how much financial sort of burden it might create in the beginning.
True.
I'm also the first person in my family who has gotten into business.
Wow.
My dad is an army man. My mom is a homemaker. Although she's a fashion designer and everything, but she's never pursued that as a business. My brother is an engineer. So we are not a family of business. So it was really hard to leave that safety of a job, which is why I am full-time working still, because it's so hard
That's
to
a
leave
safety
that.
net. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like that, that last working day of the month, it's that safety net that you have.
Exactly.
And of course, like, I'm super grateful for that, because that kind of helped me fund this in a way. So that was something that I'm pretty grateful about. Another challenge, I think, it was about leaving behind that, when we grow up, हमें क्या सिखाया जाता है that, like, study hard, get a degree, get a job, get married, blah blah blah, right? There's a whole path that is laid out for us.
Correct.
I'm a little different in that way, because like I'm not married. My parents, after my life, to get married, but
We'll bring our next question to that.
yes, but like, I think, like, just as your brand, like, Unmute, I think that was something that I did with Meherbari, because for so long, I was in the corporate world. It's a great life. I'm like, I love my job, I love what I do, but I think, like, it just sort of mutes everything else. I found, I think the pandemic was kind of like that spark that I needed, where I got back into calligraphy, I got back into painting, I got back more into reading. So I think from there that spark happened, and when I was doing Meherbari, every single day I had to fight the doubt. Every morning when I woke up and there was a delay or there was a leakage or anything that was happening here, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, but I had to fight that. I think that was the biggest down, probably. Also, like, it was kind of an up as well, because, like, you have that triumphant feeling at the end of the day that, okay, there was a doubt, but I got over it and I've moved forward and everything. But yeah, so I think that was another challenge, I would say. And the third thing probably would be that, you come into entrepreneurship, but it's not just your own self-doubt that pulls you down, but I think a lot of times it's the people around you.
People around, very important.
Who are like, why are you doing this? You have a great job, you have no responsibility, you'll just waste your money on this, and so on and so forth. And I think, like, that was another thing. Like, although I don't put any stock in what people say, but sometimes it's hard, because, like, when those people are your loved ones,
It's the hardest.
so that I think I was like, but what is your issue? You know, like, this is my money. I want to burn it.
You're the ones who are supposed to support me. Whatever
Yeah.
I'm doing, I'm looking
So
forward
like,
to
I think like, you know, like my parents were it was very weird because my parents surprisingly were all for it.
Wow.
And they supported me, financially even. But some of my friends or some of my parents' friends, they were like, "Beta, aap kyun kar rahe ho ye?" And I'm like, "But you know,
How does that matter to you?
yeah."
Actually?
And also like, you know, this is something that I want to do. Whether I'm married, not married, or will I get married, has no bearing on what I can't like stop myself from dreaming and actually doing something because beta shadi ke baad kar lena, like, and I'm like, shadi ke baad am I
it's
going
not
to
a
become
good
an
one.
alien where suddenly I'll be
Exactly.
capable of doing these things? No, I want to do it now. I can't wait for it, right? So I think those were the challenges. Apart from the, you know, the regular day to day things, those happen. That's fine. But I think it was the underlying undercurrents that were
Correct. So now, when
the
we
bigger
talk about
challenges.
all this, Anjali being the lawyer,
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, running
Yes.
Meher Bari,
Yes.
uh, facing the challenges and there's the societal pressures that we call about,
Yep.
right? All of this, being 35, being single at 35,
37.
37, right? So, and people say that women hide their age. Sorry, please. So we are breaking that myth. So 37, how are you managing this and your mental wellness?
So I think first of all, I think Neher Bari is my mental wellness.
Oh,
You
beautiful.
know, because anything that I do for Neher Bari is not work. And you know, like before I started this, I used to like I work in a startup, so I work with my founders every day, and sometimes I feel like, how do they have so much energy? Why, like, don't they get tired? You know. But after I started Neher Bari, I realized that this is not work. You know.
Perfect.
So I think that's one. Other thing is that I think like I take smaller breaks. So like because I work in US hours a lot, so what I do is also I break my day. Like I work for 3-4 hours in the morning.
Okay.
Then I stop myself consciously during the afternoon to like step away from work, and then I carry it forward like 5-6 on PM onwards. I think that's something that I realized when I sort of almost burned out in 2024. This was way back, way before Neher Bari, but I think I reached that point where I was working 15-16 hours a day.
Wow.
Right? Because when you work in a startup, especially, like there's so much hustle culture that like you don't realize even that your entire life has become about work. And from work from home, there's no breakage.
There's no break. So that
You know?
hustle culture, in a way, till the time we take it to a point, ki, okay, fine, this is not taking a toll on my health, physical, mental, emotional,
Correct.
whatever.
Correct.
But the good part about you is, you said you consciously stopped.
Yes.
So I think that is the key, where it is like, okay, यहाँ तक हो सकता है, यहाँ नहीं हो सकता. Let me
you
just
have to
stop
draw a boundary.
and
I
then
feel.
do it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like I did this for my team. I did this for myself. You know, because I feel like I was reading somewhere that Narayan Murthy says that it should be like a 12-hour working day or something like that. But somebody else responded to that very, very aptly. Is that for you, Infosys is your life.
Exactly.
You started it. So you can work on it 18 hours a day. It doesn't matter. But the person whom you are employing, that it's not that person's business. So they will burn out.
So work is a part of life.
Exactly.
Don't make it your life. It has other areas as well.
Exactly. So I do a lot of like calligraphy. I read a lot, of course. I have to read at least 2 to 4 pages, even if I'm really, really tired. And I'm reading only half a page, but I absolutely read every night before I sleep. Like I have to step away from the screen and have a analog. Absolutely. Like it's what helps me like slow down the mind, because otherwise the screen is doom scrolling, right? Like
it is.
It goes on forever. So that's something that I do. I also do a lot of journaling. Like just this year, I have finished a 12-week burnout journal. 12-week program on burnout. It's a journal and it gives you like different activities every week and everything. I have an anxiety journal, which is quite fun. So it's like anxiety blob. It's like a purple blob of anxiety. So I really love that. because it doesn't give a human sort of figure to it. So yeah, I do a lot of different journaling. I do manifestation as well. I have a ton of exercises that I do. as
Now,
well.
this is one thing which I had not planned that I'll ask you, but
Sure.
journaling, when we talk about it, most of the time we think that journaling is okay, just having a diary and just writing
Yeah.
over your thoughts, this.
Yeah.
But when we talk about this specific journaling, right?
Yeah.
Is it better than the normal journaling that we talk about? And should actually people and students and younger generation involve into that? Because when we compare the anxiety level across generations,
Yeah.
this generation definitely has more challenges. And that's
yeah.
why they are more anxious.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it depends, like what I have learned, because I do take some therapy as well. So I think what I've learned in my therapy is that on that day, you need to decide what you want to do. Like it's
Okay.
not something that हफ्ते में 2 बार आपने anxiety journal करना ही है. Like it doesn't work that way because mental health is not that structured, right?
Exactly.
Like, so I think first of all, I think it depends on what are your goals. And for me, like, when I started doing the burnout journal, that 12-week program I felt was like, it gave me a little bit of structure because it helped me start my journey from where I was absolutely anxious to like by the 3rd or the 4th week, I could like have some semblance of peace almost, right? So I think it depends on that. Second, I think most importantly, it depends on your personality, right? Like I'm somebody who, because I'm a lawyer, I like writing. Like I have this mortal fear that if I don't write, I will forget how to write. So, that's why I put my quotes on here because I'm like, I have to write.
Which is very important because I have seen my handwriting over the years because everything is online.
Yes.
And your handwriting just deteriorates like anything.
Yes.
But for this generation, I think this is quite difficult because now we have started talking about apps on mental health where you have a log, especially on iPhone and everything, they have logs.
Yeah.
But writing is therapeutic or you just...
Right. For me, writing. Because I mean, like, I just prefer, writing something or reading something. Like, I need to hold it in my hand, and that, I think it just gives me that, what do you say, like tangibility, because on the phone it feels like I wrote it, but it's somewhere in the ether. It's not in my hand.
Exactly. Where is this? This is something solid.
Yeah, exactly. So that tangibility is something that I look for. But I guess what works for you works.
Exactly.
For you,
so the crux is that it needs to come out. Whatever thoughts are going on, it comes out.
Yeah.
The second one is manifestation that you're talking about. Manifestation, everybody thinks about that. It is just affirmations, like 369 or something like that.
Yeah.
But does it really work?
I think it does. I think Meher Bari is definitely a manifestation.
Wow,
Come true. So I am not into manifestation or anything, but I think how I got into it is quite interesting because I had been thinking of a space like this for a while, but I didn't know how to take that first step, right? Because when you again, like you have a salary, you're earning well, etc. Everything is great. You have the money to blow on whatever you want, You don't get to that point कि यार अच्छा चलो मैं जाके देख के तो आती हूँ, But then what happened with me was that I was speaking with somebody and then I was talking to them about this idea and everything, and they said, you know what, like go for it, but just keep in mind that you have to have faith in yourself, right? Like the moment you like, what do you say, alter from that self-faith, the path of self-faith, you're going to, not be able to do this. Because when other voices come in your head, you are like, there's more doubt that comes, right? So I didn't do any market research. There are people out there who've done like tons and tons and tons of data analysis and everything. I didn't do that. I believed in Meher Bari. I believed in, I feel like this space is magical.
It is.
So that's the feeling that I went with, and I kept the self-faith, and I did the 555, the 555 manifestation. But in that manifestation, I actually wrote about leadership. I didn't write about like making Meher Bari, but I wrote about leadership, where I said that, I want to be in a space where I can be the leader that I am. And that's That's
beautiful. So ultimately, the thoughts become your reality.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like हम बचपन सुनते हैं ना बोलो तो अच्छा बोलो,
हाँ.
सोचो तो अच्छा सोचो.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything that is already ingrained in us.
Yes.
Ki, okay, the thought process. So everything
Yes.
starts from here.
I think the
mindset.
universe makes it happen, but the moment you lose your faith, like on a bad day, if you like, what have I done? This is not going to work. It's not going to work.
It's just one of the days. That's
But
it.
if you interrupt that thought and you go like, it's okay.
It's okay.
I have faith. Let's move forward. अच्छे दिन भी आएंगे.
अच्छे दिन भी आएंगे. Correct.
Like, you know,
Beautiful.
there's a beautiful song by this band called Dream Note. It's called वक्त की बातें. And it's so beautiful. He said कि तेरी कोई गलती नहीं है, बस ये आज दिन बुरा है. It's okay.
So this is what we normally also say, na, that people are not bad, situations kharab
Yeah.
hote, the circumstances are difficult for the particular person,
Yes.
and that's it. Nobody is
Yeah.
bad, no intentions are bad.
No intentions are bad. Yeah.
Right,
It's
so-
just, yeah, it is what it is.
हालात खराब थे, वक्त
Move
खराब
on.
था.
Yeah. उस दिन बुरा था. It's okay.
Exactly. So moving on towards the end, when someone walks into Neherbari, right, for their work or workshops or anything, what is that one thing that you want them to walk back with?
I think it would be the feeling of. I think it would be the feeling of belonging, because I think you know, fortunately or unfortunately, it is the reality of our time is that a lot of people are very lonely. A lot of people are not able to go out and talk about being lonely or anything. And I feel like here in this space, even if, you know, it's just 2 or 3 people on the floor or something, at least that's the feeling that I walk away with every evening, is that I belong, I can breathe here, and, you know, I don't have to try, you know. So you can be alone at Neherbari, but you will not feel alone.
You'll be alone, but you will not be lonely.
Yes, yes, exactly.
That's the underline here.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. And one advice for people who feel stuck at times, as you just mentioned, that it is just one of the days. Still,
Yeah.
there are times when most of us,
Yeah.
be it someone who has just started working or be it the any leader who's at the top.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, the leader at the top is the most lonely.
Yeah.
Right? So, one advice for them that will just pep them up for that particular day or that moment, and they move on.
So, you know, there's this weird thought that came into my mind, where, you know, I said to myself, am I in a position to do this? That's just my imposter syndrome speaking. But
Imposter syndrome is another thing we have to
Yes.
talk about.
But I think if one advice I could give to anybody who is at the top or who is, I think we just need to recognize, you know, stop in the day whenever we are having a bad moment or we're feeling stuck, etc. I think we need to go back and recognize the wins. You know,
True.
so I remember, like, when I was making Neherbari, there was this one day where, you know, I was having a really bad day with one of my vendors, and I called up this friend of mine. She's actually my social media manager, and she was like, you know, Anjali, but do you realize that you have started this whole thing in February, and this is June, and you are nearly done. And it's just been 4 months.
Yeah.
And, you know, when she said it, like, it just hit me like a truck almost, because I was like, oh my God, it's just been 4 months.
Just 4 months.
So I think we just need to stop. If you're feeling stuck, stop. Think about the wins. Think about what you've achieved, you know. And maybe you'll not get unstuck, but at least you'll have a little bit of breathing space.
That push and the little nudge. Okay,
Yeah.
where was I 4-5 months
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
And where I am now.
And I think it just gives you a little bit of perspective to, like, okay, keep going. This is just one of the days. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये मेरा जिंदगी का पहला बुरा दिन है, right? Like, you've had bad days before.
होंगे.
Yeah, तो
और
अच्छे
भी
दिन भी,
आएंगे.
it's a circle, right? Like,
It's like that.
so
वो it's like वो हम कहते हैं ना, life is like this till the time it is like
Yeah.
this. You are alive. The day
Exactly.
that machine goes
Exactly.
this, it's
exactly.
over.
So highs and lows,
Part of
plateau
life.
at times, then highs and lows. It's part of life.
So we saw that Anjali's journey is a reminder that the reinvention does not come with a timeline, and success does not mean fitting into the society's boxes. It is creating your own. So it's never too late to start what you have really dreamed of. Thank you so much, Anjali, for
Thank you,
being on this
Preeti.
podcast with us today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk about more and more topics in the coming
Absolutely.
episodes. Thank you so much. See
Thank
you
you.
again, everyone.
See you.
Goodbye.